heroes from across worlds stand and unite. No other foe or force can match their might. The once great people of this world now hide in fear. All chaos shaken by the power of sword and spear. The black-clad armies of the Dark One now draw near. But in the distance, the sergeant and the bear appear. Great heroes have passed along, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes have passed along, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Legions of Romans stand and let their arrows fly. The roaring of dragons and machines fills the sky. Secret agents and the generals they defy. Swarms of orcs and samurai raise their banners high. In the wake of death, only one man stands alone. The sergeant raises his sword, high silver shone. He condemns the chaos the war not his has sown. He stands longing for the day he may return home. Great heroes have passed along, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Until the war for the world springs is won, they will fight until there are none. But a hero will stand alone as one, and the bloodshed is finally done. Great heroes are passed along, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes are passed along, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation, 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 to end the age of annihilation.
Welcome to ToV Live. It is Valhalla time. It is time that we're going to explore some of these VC units, something we've never done before. We're gonna start tackling them tonight. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the ToV Podcast, episode 62. Welcome to everybody tonight, and welcome to I would say a fully new, but just recently transformed Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel now with memberships, super chats, all that wonderful
now with
stuff.
Stickers.
We're usually a channel that's like twice or three times or 100 times as big as this one would usually have. Now I have, for some reason, because basically you out there in the audience, like anybody who's subscribed, anybody who's viewed, thank you so much for that. That's just it's very humbling to actually have that step of monetization for this channel. It's only taken about 10 years, it's nothing. Yeah.
Hey, but that's the average I actually heard that is the average amount of years it takes for a creator to pop off. So you have reached the pop-off point.
It's
That's
the
like
grind.
most creators take 10 years to get their stuff going. So you're there. You're on it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And so
all
yeah,
you
it's
can
just
do is
it's other things I got to learn now. It's other things I got to learn. So I got to set up other things for
more
this
stuff.
side of the YouTube channel now. Not ignoring anybody who's watching on Twitch either, because we do have some Twitch viewers out there too as well. Red plus Blue, hello there. Welcome to the stream tonight. Welcome to this podcast. So tonight with us, we have a few things to go over with this podcast tonight. But before we get started, we have, of course, some of our usual people. We have Jeremy, the S&M Cullet. We also have Josiah, aka Roguescaper, and we have, as a special guest with us tonight, Will, aka Doggin Days. How are you doing tonight, Will?
Doing great. I've rain checked you on a couple other podcasts, so I owe you big time.
Yeah. Well, it's good you can join us because you seem to have on your channel, you dig into a little bit on the VC units. So it's great that you have you with us to give us some insight on these, because some of these we might not even know. So it'd be great to have you with us from time to time when we start exploring these. So we are going to be going through the first few units of VC, and we'll explain that in a little bit. We also got some YouTuber shoutouts, some content creator shoutouts. There have been a few springing up lately. So I do want to give some shoutouts to people out there, but we're going to do that a little bit later. And we're also going to do some comments from the last stream, because last stream, it was a little while ago, but we interviewed Lee Huff from Renegade. That was an incredible podcast,
awesome.
And it's been getting quite a bit of views. So yeah, thank you, Lee, for coming on with us, and that was a really fun conversation with her. Fun backstage conversation as well. But before I do all of that, I do want to mention to anybody out there who's chatting, and this can go for the community on Spotify as well, because you can leave comments on Spotify. But going to be holding a contest. Since I did get this all of a sudden, woohoo! Congratulations, you're monetized on YouTube. I'm going to do a giveaway, and there's details in the description below. But I'm going to do a giveaway tonight. All you got to do, and what Red plus Blue and Justin there in the chat are doing is commenting either on the live chat or just leave a comment below if you watch this video on the replay after, and that enters you for selection come probably be December 15th's Sunday stream, where we will spin the wheel and do a giveaway for these items, which is, I'm open right now, a new in the box Sergeant Drake AOA Alexander mini, as well as this particular Rise of the Valkyrie Drake Alexander card, but you can see that there's a signature on it, and that signature is Craig Van Ness's signature as well. So,
Ooh.
And yeah.
Man,
Yeah, so I'm going to be giving that away. So you guys have about 4 weeks or so just to leave a comment, and that will automatically get you entered. There's also ways to actually get your name double in that contest too, and that has to do with either Patreon or membership on YouTube. So check out that information if you want to do that as well, to kind of double your chance for these contests. And I'm trying to, because I got stuff back there that I have to give away. So there's going to be other opportunities for contests in the future. I'm sure. I just got to plan it out. But that is that. So that goes for if you're listening on YouTube or listening on Spotify. You can leave a comment on Spotify too. I will count that as well. So with that, let us go on to comments first from the last podcast, and we have a few. So I'm just going to, let's see, I'm gonna share the screen so you all can, all prestigious members of my panel can look at this as well. Get this here. Just gonna make sure I got to find the right window here because I have a ton. All right, here we are.
We love tab.
All right, and let's see. I'm just gonna look at the chat real quick. Let's see here. Justin says, "I'm basically clueless on C through V. I only have a few in my collection." And Justin,
Oh boy.
I totally get it. That is why one of the reasons why I'm doing it as well, because I have only a few C through V, but I want to get to know them more and see what actually would fit for me and what might fit for others as well. And Justin says, I want a signed card. Well, you already have your name entered in, and I know you're already a very good Patreon supporter, so you already have your name entered in twice, sir. So that is good. All right, and let's go through these comments. So first comment comes from Rangers of the East, and definitely check out Rangers of the East YouTube channel as well, because he was a guest panel member on the last stream. Says, thanks again for having me on the stream tonight or that night. And Ranger, it was great having you with us, and you are a fellow lore aficionado, kind of like an aspiring, how would I put it, Jeremy? An apprentice lore master, basically.
An acolyte.
An apprentice to the lore master.
An acolyte.
Yeah, but it was fun having him on. We need to have him on for like probably like a Thorman's Journal podcast sometime in the future, because I think we need to plan that.
Oh, yeah,
we need to
those
plan
are good
with him.
ones.
Yeah, for sure. But it was great having him on. And then the next comment comes from Real Cooper Christian that says, "Now I just hope to put out Dungeon Terrain and release various terrain outcrops, i.e. mountains and glaciers." Okay, yeah, this comes for that's not something. I know we were talking a little bit about last podcast with Lee, but yeah, it's one thing they haven't talked about yet when it comes to like dungeon terrain. Oh, the dungeon terrain was very exclusively a D&D thing, which was exclusively a Wizards of the Coast type thing. So that might lead to issues, but and Alex the Swan Guy.
Don't look at me.
Hello, Alex the Swan Guy via Twitch. Good to see you. But no, I'm not looking at you, Jeremy. I'm not. Don't want you to reveal anything.
I'm not saying anything.
But I'm sure they're coming up with different alternatives to a dungeon terrain. Might name it differently. Might be variantly differently.
I hope so.
But I'm sure
Maybe
they're coming up with solutions for that.
Maybe they can put like a little design onto the black tile and just call it a darkness tile for legal purposes.
Right.
I feel like
Because
I want to now. This is my general understanding of the situation from experience, I should say. The way I understand it, we're not really able to bring up specific Dungeons and Dragons concepts, as for example the Mind Flayer, or we're never going to be able to bring up the Mind Flayer again. That's a wizard specific property.
Sure.
Right? So anything that's wizard specific properties, off the table. As you all have noticed, that unfortunately includes Valkyrie, is a wizard property.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about that, right? So anything that's under that category, untouchable. The more generic things that you can think about that you can't exactly say is D&D specific, probably on the table. We'll just have to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
We still got a whole bunch of stuff on the way, and with what is Rising Tides on the way. We got stuff for the summer plan.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, right, that's like everything's on the table. That's not D&D specific.
Sure.
Right.
I do.
So just yeah. That's the.
I
That's
do
the.
have a
That's
question.
I'm thinking like, what's the way to say it?
Yeah.
What's up?
I do have a question on it. I don't know if that's beyond the scope of the podcast, but
Oh, it's
wasn't
fine,
there in the official release of in classic Heroscape's waves, wasn't there a re-release wave that included the Granite Guardians and the Quasach Hunters, but then it also re-released the Warriors of Ashra and the Deathstalkers and stuff like that? And these are classic Heroscape units, right? They're not considered part of the D&D canon, but the wave, I believe, was called Valkyrie's Gambit. So is the character of Valkyrie a proper entity from classic Heroscape that just the faction got used a lot in the D&D wave? To me, it's very disappointed that we can't talk about Valkyrie in the new stuff, because he's one of my favorite factions.
I'm just as mad. I'm just as mad. I just like, because like, with being contracted to write the lore now, obviously I'm like, yo, let's do these things that we want to see. And then it's like, no Valkyrie. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're right. The thing is, from what I understand, the idea of Valkyrie, the name itself, right, was just another name that they had created for those titles. Because they did that for every wave, right? There's Xanathor, there's Ragnar, right? There's all these people that were named, and we don't know anything about them. Some of them are even mentioned in bios, and we don't know anything about them other than that they were used for the naming conventions. That's how Valkyrie came into being. It was just one of those other names. But I wanted to say, once Wizards fully had control of everything, that's when they made Valkyrie into a concept. And so Valkyrie the concept is owned by Wizards, but originally the name was just another name for a wave. If that kind of like opens it up. So at some point we could have had Valkyrie as a classic concept, but because Wizards was the one to publish him officially, it belongs to them.
Yeah,
So,
and I do remember some
it's
lore.
just trademark. It's
Yeah.
trademark nonsense. It's so annoying.
Yeah,
But
no, it's a
that's what you
shame.
got, Yeah, it really is. Like, trust me, if it was possible, I imagine, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even have to bring it up. League would already be all into it. But the only reason why there's such a hesitation, it's because of the trademarks.
Sure.
And Wizards loves their trademarks. Wizards will go
Yeah.
ape if they find out we're using stuff without permission.
Well, here's my trademark, darn Wizards. There you go. Say about that.
Yeah,
But,
I still remember that.
In terms of specifically the dungeon terrain, it is the most rare terrain type to own right now, because and as well as
so
one of the
nice.
most useful. Yeah, it's one of the
So
best
nice.
looking. It's the rarest type, especially since there's not any planned releases that we know of at this time. And a lot of cards mention dungeons or shadow tiles. Like, it's a very valuable map building thing for competitive maps. So it's definitely like a big hole that I hope they fill someday with something legally similar,
Yeah. The positive thing I want to leave is just consider this. If it's generic enough to not be associated with just Dungeons and Dragons, there's a chance it'll be on the table. But if it's very specific to the Dungeons and Dragons universe, please don't look at it. Just assume it's not gonna happen,
Yeah,
because
understood.
Wizards
Yeah.
loves their trademarks. Yeah. So
Rest in peace, Lizard Folk Hero. Official.
I know. Well, okay, I did. No, this is just personal. I'm not saying this is an official thing. This is just personal. I did look up the word lizard folk. That is not copyrighted.
Yeah, it's open.
So
I have a lot of pitches
it's
for it.
open. But as long, like, we just got to make sure it has, like, we got to keep that thing clean. We got to make sure it has no connection to anything from D&D.
Have a lawyer look at it.
I don't know, but right, I know. Okay, legal? Is this okay? Like, but yeah, it's tricky. Trademarks really do cause a lot of like stumbling, especially with Heroscape is such an interesting brand to work with now for me, because it's like, oh man, all this stuff I grew up with and I love and I played it and I was this is so fun, but now I'm working with it and it's like, oh, I can't do that because copyright. Oh, I can't do that because copyright. Oh, and I'm just like this sucks. Like, there's a lot more restrictions to the creative process that they don't get to see, if that makes sense, until you're doing it. And then you're like, and then it's the most annoying thing in the world, because you're just like, oh, well, I'm going to copyright. But yeah, Heroscape had a really loose, I don't know, they just were able to do a lot more in the past, and since that time has grown and people have become more secure with their copyrights, you just can't do that anymore, because then everyone's going to be like, hey, that's ours, and it's like, no, it's not. But if they can prove it in court, what can you do? That's where we're at. But yeah, what Red plus Blue Dev is saying, it's tough because of the trademark, but because of the history, it'll be that too. Because of our history with Dungeons and Dragons, we might end up losing any case, because they'll be like, well, you did work with it, so we know what you're basing it off of. And it's like, but Lizard Folk's not copyrighted.
How dare
I don't know how
you.
far I could get with that. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, the name isn't copyrighted. Yeah, trademarks are wild. That's the TLDR for all of that. It's
Well, thank you, Real Cooper
We'll-
Christian,
we'll
for
do,
that.
We'll do our best. Yeah.
Yeah, for this comment, because it definitely provided a little bit of discussion. So thank you so much.
We could have a whole podcast just on that comment.
Yeah,
right there.
no kidding,
Yeah.
no kidding.
No, I have perspectives now to give that are fun, and one of those is wow, trademarks suck, but but yeah, it makes sense though. Like I understand protecting your rights and protecting your creations, but there's got to be like loopholes for certain things, like the collaborative effort of Heroscape. I don't know. Well,
Oh, just be nice. Just
we
be
still got some
nice.
awesome stuff, right? That's
legal doesn't
like what we're not stealing
legal
D&D.
Anything legal isn't.
No one
nice,
can
and
steal
it's just,
D&D.
yeah, gotta obey the rules.
Yeah.
Hi. But anyway, again, thank you.
Alas.
Yep. Thank you, Real Cooper Christian, for that comment. And then last comment is from G Busy. It says, it was reassuring hearing Lee get into such detail about what goes on behind the curtain, specifically the reasoning behind some of Renegade's decision making. We might not have a war council anymore, but we definitely have at least one person on the inside looking out for the opportunity, or for the community in Lee. Yeah, I think Lee. I mean, there are some of us who's talked to Lee personally, on things, one-to-one, and I think she is a very genuine person. I think she wants to do her best into, making the brand as great as she can make it. So, yeah, absolutely.
That is a very amazing comment. Thank you so much, G Busy. I want to say personally, because again, now that I've had a couple of months working with them, I can tell you directly that they're trying their absolute best. They really are. There's a lot of stuff that happened that was outside of their control. Mainly what she mentioned was receiving all of the characters without any context, right?
Mhm.
And how everyone's been getting on their case because of the lore. The problem is they never got any lore in the first place.
Well, the lore from Wave
Right, they
3
had
is
no-
great. Is pretty good.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So, and that is handcrafted by the designers. They
Mhm.
did that all on their own, right? Because they didn't like. I love Avalon Hill. Obviously, we worked with Chris in Carmine, super cool guy,
Mhm.
right? But for whatever reason, the transition process between the files from Avalon Hill did not include any of the designer notes, context, any of his lore Bible, none of that. So they had to build all that from scratch. And I'm like, that's honestly really impressive for you're just doing that on your own method, right? Like
Mhm.
you could tell they did the research. And so Busy's comment, G Busy, thank you for saying that, because one, I know Lee watches all y'all's videos, by the way. I hope you know that.
Mhm.
Lee is actively going through and watching everyone's content. So for y'all to say that for her is super helpful, because I'm pretty sure she would, knowing that y'all appreciate the effort that's being put into these characters.
We've practically made memes with her face on it, so that's that says something.
You're just part of the community now, right? If you're a meme.
And I know from her personally, she doesn't like it. I mean, she's just like, not that she does. She hates it. She's just, she's like, yeah.
We were raised differently. We're the meme culture is.
This is true. This is true.
It's out of adoration. Yeah, the meme culture.
Right, it is.
The meme, it's adoration.
I
But no, I
will
think the
say.
whole-
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I would just say the whole Renegade team. I've just been impressed with every interaction I've had with them. I've had the chance of interacting with Lee and several other people on the marketing side, like Jordan and Ias. They're all just great people.
Yeah.
Really, really just. I mean, just even reaching out to smaller YouTubers and giving them a chance to go on their live stream is a really big deal. It really means that they're taking the effort to reach out to community members, and they're doing the best they got with what they got. So props to them.
And I think it speaks volumes too, because I mean, the first almost like a year or so, there was like radio silence with us. Like they weren't community call. There's just like, okay, are they just doing their own thing? And they're just like, okay, it doesn't matter what, content creators or anybody. We're basically the media here, when it comes to, Heroscape stuff. And we got nothing other than the supposed negative rumors that seem to be popping up. And then just the lackluster things that we're starting to see. It's like, okay, some of it's cool, but this
don't
is
forget,
obviously terrible.
They didn't have anybody.
Exactly.
Don't
No,
forget,
I get it.
not-
I get
It
it.
wasn't effort.
I get it. I'm
There was
just
not enough
saying what was happening on our end. It's like, because we
Right.
had zero information, and I think that finally, Lee, doing things and reaching out, and then now, we basically, it's like every Renegade Con, it's just like, okay, who's going to be next now? What content creator is going to be next to showcase something on a Renegade Con, which is great.
Yeah,
That's something they absolutely need to do, and I think they're doing a good job of it.
It's like, and to kind of like build off of that commentary, I think moving forward, all businesses need to start paying attention to their content creators and giving them these opportunities, because, like, I mean, if I may take a businessman stance for a little bit, it's free advertising. What are you doing, y'all?
Absolutely.
Like, come on, right? So that's businessman brain, but that's the thing. It's like, if a company reaches out to the people making videos about them and give them opportunities to doing those videos, what do you think's going to happen? You're obviously going to end up doing better, because now you have
Goodwill.
this person who is a face of the community. You have that goodwill. You're building that rapport. There's the liaison connection between community and, like, consumer and producer is like locked in, right? And that's I really think moving forward, should be everybody's business model. Renegade is proof of that, because Renegade's taking the time to connect with its community, giving them all these opportunities to grow. And look what's happening. They're selling out of Heroscape twice in a row.
Yeah,
right. Wave 1 has been wild. Cleaned out twice. So, like, also thank you for that, by the way, because that keeps me in work. But that's the thing. It's like, yes, it's producing, it's creating results, it's effective, because now you have a face that people can relate to, and it's not like this, like, ooh, corporate entity, ghost zombie. You know what I mean? Like, no one can relate to the corporate. No one can connect with the corporate. No one knows what it's like to be corporate, but they know what it's like to be a content creator. They know what it's like to be someone making videos from their computer, stuff like that. So it's like, that relatability is super. It's just really nice to see in 2024. More companies are starting to realize that they're like, hey, let's actually talk to the guys making videos about us. So I think that's really, really cool. Renegade's a big example of that.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think it's overall, it's going to be not just beneficial for them, but beneficial for us too. It gives us another reason to keep on doing what we're doing. So, absolutely. Thank you so much, G Busy, for that comment, and all the comments from everybody. I get way more than I can show on the show, so I have to be a little bit more selective now. But I get a lot of comments from people, both publicly and privately, and I just appreciate every one of them. I enjoy whatever critique or feedback or encouragement that you all give, so I appreciate it so much. Okay, let me stop sharing this, and we're going to hop into now the main segment of the show, which is Valhalla Customs. And here, let me get this... I'm going to show this first. Okay, again, screen share so you guys can see what I'm actually seeing here. Do you see what I see? Boom, 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 boom. Let me get this up here. Okay, I just got to find the right window. Where are you? There you are. All right, and hopefully this will translate well. Okay, so Valhalla Customs. Now, before we get started with the actual individual units that we'll go over, and again, anything we talk about tonight, links in the description below for anything if you want to check out. Hey, Hacksala, how you doing? For anything that you want to see, like YouTube channels, like Will's channel, everybody's channel, just all the content information out there. And if you want to also, if you're like, oh, I feel like I need to buy more Heroscape or something else from Renegade, there is a how would I put it? An affiliate link below. It's not mine. I don't have an affiliate link because I'd rather give it to other people in the community. And tonight I've been doing Joe Crazies for like the past few months, but tonight I'm starting doing Jeremy's affiliate link. So if you want to tap that link and give Jeremy some support, by purchasing not just Heroscape but anything through Renegade, I'm sure he would very much appreciate it as well. So definitely hit that link if you want to. But anyway, with that being said, Valhalla Customs. Now, this got started right after the discontinuation of Heroscape back in 2010, or I think it was like almost a year after that happened.
2011.
Yeah, and this is the website you can go to, Heroscape Customs, WordPress.com, to see the main website for that. And I'm just going to read this, and I'm sure Jeremy can explain this well as well. But let me just read this first here. What is Valhalla Customs? VC, Valhalla Customs, is a collaborative project with the goal of creating fun, reliable, play-tested Heroscape figures that are designed to work seamlessly with all other C3V and SOV customs. C3V. What's the C3V acronym again?
So C3V stands for Custom Classic Creators of Valhalla.
Okay, and SOV is Soldiers of Valhalla, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, SOV Customs as well as official Heroscape units. And the cool thing is, some of the people who's been designing these customs over the years were some of the ones that made the stuff we're currently buying via Renegade. They did a lot of these units and the stat cards from these units through Avalon Hill. So we're seeing the results of this work even today. But this is the stuff that they started. This is the stuff that they, how would I put it? That they bled their teeth on, basically, starting out. So that's just, and if anybody wants to look at that, again, website, link description below, if you want to check that out. But how about we first go into the first unit, and it's the first unit. I know that looking at Squads and Heroes via Classicscape, I was doing it alphabetically, not exactly by set and release pack, but for C3V SOV stuff, we are going to go by how they have been released. And before I do that here, I just want to look at the comment for Hexala here. It says, corporate always boils down to people, and the more interfacing there is, the more understanding and grace we can give. I love the extra communication Renegade has been doing lately. Yes, absolutely. That's the thing, is expanding goodwill, for sure. I just wanted to give Hexal that shout out and not ignore or forget that they commented.
Do we want to mention how the units get made or selected real quick, or do you want to just go into the bio?
Go ahead. Yeah, we're just giving just a brief detail on how these are. So anybody who doesn't know that would be a good thing to definitely point out.
So just for context, I did work with C3V in the very beginning. I was selected as one of their fiction writers for Wave 14. Yeah. So I worked on Thormund's Reprieve, some of the characters on Thormund's Reprieve. Now, obviously, that ended up being the only wave I got to work on, because literally right after I moved to Honduras and was living in Honduras for the 2 years I was there. So wasn't able to really do anything while I was down there. But prior to that, I worked with C3V. And so the process, just to kind of give you a very quick TLDR, C3V is designed by, they have an ERB, right? It's an executive review board, and they have this group of people who they select everyone else, writers, designers, they go look for the minis. They do all this stuff. ERB, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, it was just a really good functioning system. They were able to just knock things out of the park. They got the voting process was peak. I mean, every time when I was there, when I worked with them during 2011, I mean, it was boom, 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 boom. Oh, hey, let's make this done. Boom. It's just really efficient process. And so that's where Dadscaper worked. Dadscaper was part of the ERB. And then they, I knew I Am Batman. I Am Batman was one of the guys I worked with. And so all of them together, they selected me to work on these units, and they select everyone else to work on these units. So C3V is a very big democratic voting process. Everyone selects the characters together. They all work on it together. Really, really neat, tight knit organization. SOV is a little different in the sense. So Soldiers of Valhalla it's like voting as well, but it's voting from community customs. So it's basically anyone in the community can submit their custom design to be nominated to the Soldiers of Valhalla lists. And then with that, the Soldier of Valhalla list is what you're basically able to grab the characters that were voted on from the community itself, right? So C3V has it's like a solid design process, a solid design team. Everyone works together. Everyone makes their own stuff. SOV picks from the entire community itself and votes it all in. So that's your primer.
Yeah, and Alex the Swan Guy says, "Sounds neat." Yeah, it's Alex. It's a black hole that once you get in, you'll never leave, but you don't want to.
Right.
Really
And I will add too that if anyone is interested in getting into more competitive Heroscape or going to local events, these are usually pretty widely accepted by kind of locally organized events. And even if you just play casually or want them for your collection, they are really well designed and a ton of fun. And they explore lots of little gameplay niches that the classic units did not. So if you can find a way to 3D print them, or if you're lucky enough to find the actual figures for a good price, it's a no-brainer. They're really great.
Absolutely. And we have, of course, Joe Crazy just popped in the panel.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
I think he's on his way. He was on his way back from EscapeCon East, right?
That's correct.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
Must be nice.
Well, for a couple seconds, how did that go, sir? For you?
It was incredible to see everybody from the Mars group. Some people came out from the Carolinas to come play and beat me. So that was fun. And it's so great. It's so great. Mike, Orc Elf Army 1, he puts on a great con. So it was fantastic to see everybody. We got to see some new people as well that never came to a con before. And some really interesting formats. So definitely go check .org for some of the formats, and don't look at my stats.
I've heard. I was gonna say I've heard OEAO is a great organizer. I'd love to go to one
Mike
of his
is.
events.
Yeah.
Seems like a
He's
great guy.
fantastic.
Dude, that man's brain is wild. He's so good at management. I've just never seen the way he does it is crazy. It's so cool.
No, it's great to go to an event that's that he's running for sure. Well,
we'll always have a good time.
Well, how about we hop into the first? Let's see here on the list. Let's see. So we're going by set and pack, and the first unit ever created for VC as a VC unit is the Zombie Hulk. There he is.
Really, that's the first. Seems like a much later design.
The first SOV, the first SOV unit.
Yeah, it's the first one on the list at least.
So,
go back here.
No, you're good.
5-4-11 Zombie Hulk.
Make it the first voted character to be selected and then brought up as a Soldier of Valhalla was Zombie Hulk. Yeah.
And this was made by Doc, right? I think Doc did a first few. I see Doc's name on the first few of these. So I guess we should applaud Doc for getting this stuff started. But I got
Doc
one here.
made. Which one did Doc? Doc made the. Did he make the bugs? I can't remember. Oh gosh. Which one's
There he is.
It's interesting once you are in VC enough, you do start to see designer kind of characteristics come through in the cards. There's personalities associated with them. I was like, oh yeah, this feels like a Doc card, which has a very.
This feels like a Doc card, yo.
Yeah, they have a very unique interactions. Doc has really great at building bonding cards with unique interactions, and I can't remember the other ones, but you can just start to notice similarities or kind of traits used. So it's a fun rhetorical study to do.
What's going on, Jimmy?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we have it? We had that conversation with Dadscaper. Didn't he talk about that? How he's
Possibly
he prefers cards with. He's a minimalist designer, so his cards are the ones without the rules, just one power, and then he all the other people he used to work with loved having walls of text on their cards, and so you can tell which ones are Dad's designs and which ones are the others. Dad's Escaper's designs has one rule, and the rest have this paragraphs because that's what they preferred. So yeah, no, you're onto something. There's a genuine like, you can tell who made the idea, the concept, who in the War Council made what because of how much text is on the card, and I think that's so funny. But yeah, you're onto something for sure.
Yeah. It's very likely to happen, Jeremy. I mean, we are only 62 like episodes in these podcasts, so
I remember that conversation. I'm like, we talked about this.
Retaining everything is like, hey. Okay, but
at this point,
I'm gonna do the first honor since I have this many and I have used it before. I'm gonna read through this card first because I really like this guy. So Zombie Hulk, Utgar, Undead, Uncommon Hero, which means you can use a bunch of them. Savage, Terrifying, Large 6, got 3 life, move of 5, range of 1, attack of 4, defense of 3, 60 points. And got some special abilities here called Horde Shriek. After revealing an order marker and before taking a turn with this Zombie Hulk, if this Zombie Hulk is not engaged, you may first take a turn with another Undead, Savage Hero, or squad that you control. Paralyzing Fear. Figures attacked by any Undead subtract 1 from their defense dice for every Zombie Hulk they are engaged to. And then Zombie rises again. If an Undead Savage that you control destroys an opponent's large or huge figure, replace that figure immediately, if possible, with one of your own previously destroyed Zombie Hulks. And remove all the markers other than the order markers on that card. Undead are not affected by Zombie Rises again.
Zombie Rises again makes me so mad sometimes playing against it because it's like, I know I killed you. Why you?
I really like, and even though it's like my Zombie Hulk and zombies weren't great against my Ice and X a couple weeks ago, I really like the bonding synergy that you give to the regular zombies. These guys, I mean, and they're still kind of a tad slow moving because zombies don't have much of movement, but at least like when it and correct me if I'm wrong, but with Horde Shriek, you can move a squad, and in turn, since you don't to move like 6 zombies with the horde movement, I believe it's horde movement. You don't need an order marker on the zombies card in order to do that. You just need to activate those zombies, and then you can do horde movement. So you can potentially move a Zombie Hulk and then 6 zombies up the field by having an order marker on Zombie Hulk, which is very nice. It's very synergistic. So yeah. A good equalizer.
But it's all balanced out by the fact that you have to be not next to someone. So do you forego Zombie Hulk's attack, or do you risk it trying to get rid of that one straggler figure, hoping that you can kill it? So you're always running kind of the odds of what are the chances of me bonding, what's the risk and take of that's why I love this unit so much. It's a very fun unit to play.
Well, and that's the beauty of it being an uncommon hero. You can have more than one, so you can have say 3, 4, 5 of them, and send one down there and have it get killed, and then you can just end up replacing it later once you start ganging up other zombie Hulks against your big guys, against big opponents.
And I like the niche it fills in a zombie army, where the normal zombies you can only revive small and medium figures that you kill, but having 1 or 2 Zombie Hulks means if you're able to kill a larger huge figure on your opponent's team, you can pop up one of your dead Zombie Hulks. And a lot of times, if you want to do that zombie onslaught where you surround a figure with 3 zombies, I think, and you do 1 big 6 attack on them, a lot of times you want to do that against a larger huge figure to really put a lot of wounds on it. So it's nice to be able to have something in your toolbox to sort of say, okay, I'll kill this Nilfheim if I'm lucky. I'll kill it, and then after he dies, the Zombie Hulk will pop up in its place. I will say, though, I've played, I think, 1 game with him, with the Zombie Hulk and a bunch of zombies of Marindin, and I played it in a 3-player game, and I don't think that's the best format for him. I think he's probably a lot better in 1v1. I had a lot of trouble making him work on my end, but I think I was just playing it really poorly. So it's a very well designed unit.
Yeah, and well, with Paralyzing Fear too, I mean, you get a few of these Zombie Hulks, and that helps. Like I would say like a good strategy for it is like have your smaller zombies do the zombie power smash against a huge figure, and then have a zombie Hulk come and finish them off. So that way you can replace that huge figure that you just destroyed with a zombie Hulk, so that zombie rises again can be in play. And you got the paralyzing fear that makes your opponent's defense that much weaker when a zombie Hulk's trying to finish a huge or large figure off too. So yeah,
it's really cool. But it does, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're going after an opponent's large or huge figure, you preferably want one of your zombie Hulks to have died already, so that you can put up another. So you kind of
get that res.
You want to launch a zombie Hulk early in the game, maybe have him do some damage, kill a couple squad figures, then he dies, and then once he's dead, it's like, okay, everyone go for Nilfheim, and so we can bring back one of our Hulks. So interesting decisions that it provokes, but I do like the unit.
Yeah, definitely with the zombies. I think one side of the strategy, and correct me if I'm wrong, is to wipe out your zombies so you can bring them back. Just not too much, not all of them, just some of them, and then they start killing off other minis, and then you just end up bringing them back. And that's this is why Heroscape's so fun. You can actually have freaking zombies in the thing and use this. Even though I'll admit that zombies on their own, they're not competitive. You'll get trashed. You'll get totally destroyed. Don't use regular zombies.
Unless your enemy's just running McDurks, then you're good.
Right. I've had a prevailing theory that so like the zombies and like the vampires and like that specific was supposed to end up becoming like a super tight knit army combination, and they just never got to finish the design specs for it before the Wizards merger, because like there's just like it's just you can tell something's missing. You're like, oh, anything to help them move better or something. And Cyprian being the undead army leader, you're like, okay, he's out, all right. But he only, he's not doing anything bonding. So I really think they had plans for some, like maybe some vampire commander that would have been able to run the zombies forward. Cool. But who knows, right? The Wizards came in and made them change their plans and sad. But you can feel that there's a niche missing, and the Zombie Hulk really answers that need, and I think that's always really cool to see from the community itself, that there are players out there that will play the characters and be like, that wasn't great, I'm gonna fix it, and then boom, they make a character, and I'm like, that's awesome. I love seeing that creativity.
And that's another thing I have really enjoyed about VC too, is a lot of times a VC unit will be added that suddenly makes a previously poorly regarded classic unit suddenly a lot more viable. One of them we may be talking about in a moment here, but it's if you've made a unit and it in classic Heroscape and it turns out it's not really viable competitively, well, it's fixed. It's stuck in the game. It is what it is. But it's so much easier just to introduce another unit later on that raises its ability, has some bonding or gives it some kind of buff, whatever, that makes it more viable later on than it is to go back and retcon what you made earlier. So VC does a great job with that. There's still a couple units out there I hope that they touch, and I hope that they buff up. But so far, they're great.
That's awesome.
And let's see, I'm just going through the synergies of these. Who's Dirgeth Ravagers?
That is the question. They're another VC unit that I don't think I've ever seen anyone play.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like them. They're just not. They're very mapped. They're kind of like the Drudge.
They're wave 20.
Very swamp dependent. So
the Durgith, those are the guys that have like 4 base attack and 1 defense, right? They can bomb savage. Yeah. But they also have hide and swamp. So I mean, I've never played them. I've never seen anyone play them, so I've never played against them before.
Oh yeah, I have a squad of these.
Okay. Yeah.
I never used them.
Yeah, when it comes to synergies,
I was waiting. Like, so do you like them? Do you like them?
I think they're from Star Wars. I think
they're okay. So
they are Star Wars minis. Yeah.
The Wanty from Star Wars Legends.
We can talk about how terrible they are when we get to them. later. But no, I mean, my overall point was the fact that if it's not zombies and Morandan, this doesn't really seem to like gel well with much anything else, other than you just have a massive like zombie fun. Even like with Ornak, why? Because I still
there's some fun. They can act as, if you have 60 points left over, they can act as a decent undead booster if you have some like undead that need to hit a bit harder. I actually ran these guys with Ataraxis a bit, and it wasn't a win, but it's a really fun because they have a lot of, because Ataraxis can go on them.
Oh, this is true. This is true. And this is a synergy
the
that
defense.
I mean, I think Ataraxis needs to be added. I don't think they've updated this much when it came to the new, because Ataraxis is relatively new. So that's something that I don't think they've updated.
Ataraxis is new, yeah.
Yeah. It's got B ranking, which isn't bad.
Yeah, she's on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. It's going to take a long time to to get to Ataraxis, but I can't wait because I do have.
Ataraxis is cool.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, that's very cool. And I don't think
I always love their the fact that the planet is named after the Rev. That's major respect for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I don't think there is a ton of lore for this particular unit, or any at all.
I can actually explain that actually.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
My personal story. So when I was working with the fiction department with SOV and C3V, they just didn't have any plans to do any bios for the SOV units because these are custom designs from the community itself, right?
Sure.
So these are made by they have unique design. Each unit has a unique designer, and when I had asked about it, I was like, well, we could write some stuff. They told me to go talk to the designers at the time for each unit, and I just I remember being like trying to figure out who made what, and I think I think at the time the only one I was really interested in was the Mind Flayer Hero. I tried to write something for that, and it never went through. Because the thing is, again, it wasn't really anyone's imperative. They didn't have plans for it. They didn't really think it was necessary to write bios for voted in units. So it just never got done. So anything SOV does, unless if it has lore, it was written by the designer itself.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, the fiction department was created to work on the C3V units. So those have bios.
And it's not, and it's not completely like terrible. I mean, we don't necessarily need.
It's
need
not
it.
bad. It's just like it was just like they just didn't really think about it.
Right.
It was.
I have the lore for this guy.
Good.
It's a zombie.
It's a zombie. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Somehow the Hulk survived. I guess.
Hey, look, that's canon. The Hulk actually. I know this is such a tangent, but the Hulk actually outlives humanity in the plot. I remember that being a thing. Like that's actual canon to Marvel.
Maestro, he becomes the Maestro.
There you go.
Yeah, he becomes the Maestro. Yep. So.
And I will say one more, because if you got a ton of zombies, definitely you should get them for your zombies. You should get these. You should get these for your zombies because it's just
get them for your Halloween game.
Yeah, exactly. Synergistic.
For sure. The seasonal spooky game. Absolutely.
They're a lot of fun, and for when it comes to the actual because obviously it takes some time, effort, and money to get these miniatures, assemble these miniatures, get them bases. So I don't want to gloss over that. I just want to say real quick. Okay, so here's the sculpt. Here's the mold, and these aren't cheap, and they're very hard to find. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see that with a lot of the Valhalla Custom units. So what you got to do is find alternative sculpts, and there's lists of alternatives
or print them.
on Heroscapers. Hold that up there, Josiah.
Or you can spend about 40 cents and print one off yourself. So
that is also an option too. Or you can find alternative sculpts as well. I love this one. This one's just so nice looking.
Sick.
And then I also have this one, which isn't as good, but it's there. And It's like
That's
Oh,
Zombie
it's
Hulk hit the
beautiful.
Golden
Oh,
Corral
it's simply
buffet.
beautiful.
yeah. You check out Knights of Light, and has both those sculpts on eBay. If you want to check
awesome.
check them out. But yeah, so I got those. So they're a little bit cheaper and a little bit more accessible than finding the original Zombie Hulk, which, like, again, I mean, you can find them, but either they're rare to find or they will cost a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say overall, when it comes to the Zombie Hulk as an introduction into the custom part of Heroscape, it's a really good introduction to it, and definitely will give your zombies a boost. So definitely recommend it if you're considering getting customs for your Heroscape collection. And anybody else have anything to say about these guys before we close out?
Just a really solid starter option. I think again, Craig Van Ness was like, when he expressly said that he never went into the customs forums because he felt that people's ideas were so good they would bleed into his own. So he avoided the customs like the plague the entire time he worked on the Heroscape line, all 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
But once they discontinued it, one of the very first things he did was dive into those forums finally, because he finally got to see what people were doing. And he was like, this is the most closest official thing I've ever seen. Like, it was like, this is solid. Like, these stuff are great. These concepts are great. And he was happy he was able to actually check it out now, because he was so worried that it was going to spoil his own ideas. But that's how good they are. Like, he was the original creator of Heroscape was worried that these ideas would bleed into his own. That's how well thought out they are. And so, honestly, just you ever get a chance, scroll down, check out some of the cool stuff they made. They really have put some work into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got into Valhalla Customs because I would play a lot of D&D other games, and I just have buckets of miniatures. As that during that downtime when there was no official Heroscape being released, I just sifted through them. I was like, oh, cool! I got a bunch of new units to add to the game. So if you have just a bunch of miniatures, you collect them. It's a great way to kind of add some really high quality units to your collection without having to do all the work of pictures and testing. And it's a lot of work to get a unit from concept to table. So, So it's just it depends on how you view the game. They're not official, but they play really nice. So take that with a grain of salt.
For sure. All right. Well, that is looking at the Zombie Hulk, the first released unit from Valhalla Customs from VC. All right. And let us move on to the next one.
Watch those wrist rockets.
Yeah, okay. So, Zedian Infantry, and I want to have someone else give someone else a chance to read the card. Will, would you be able to read the card? No.
I would be happy to.
All right.
Let me open it up. Okay. So the Zedian Infantry, also known as B2 Super Battle Droids, are a Soulborg on the Heroscape. In Valhalla, they're Soulborgs. They're a common squad. They're guards, which is important for anyone who likes Warden. They're loyal, which is their personality, medium 4. And they have their squads, they have 1 life. Move of 4, range of 4, attack 2, defense 3, 65 points. For their powers, they have Utgar Soulborg bonding. Before taking a turn with Zedian Infantry, you may take a turn with any Soulborg hero you control who follows Utgar. And then they have this really cool power, and I have a thing to say about this, but Circuitry Replacement. If a friendly Soulborg hero who follows Utgar receives 1 or more wounds from a special power that is not an attack, you may destroy a guard in the Zedian Infantry you control that is adjacent to that hero to ignore any wounds that hero just received. So, very cool.
I have a question. I just realized this. Does that power work with the Deathwalker 7000 to prevent it from killing itself?
Whoa!
That's a good question.
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
And that just kind of blew
maybe
my
No,
have
mind.
that's considered a
clarification.
special attack, is it not?
No, it's a special
It's a power.
Oh.
No, it's
not.
in rules and clarification. So it says that both a guard and an adjacent Soulborg receive wounds simultaneously.
Oh, that makes sense.
If you that's a little different.
Okay.
That makes
I wonder-
sense, yeah.
What does it say? No, it
You
says
can probably
it says circuitry. It says it bonds with Deathwalker 7000. The circuitry replacement works with 7000. So
Oh,
Let's
I never
see.
realized that before.
Go down here.
So you could blow up
Nice.
7,000, and as long as he's next to a Zedian infantry, he can stay alive.
the Zedian dies instead. Yeah.
So
Yep.
he could just
Yep.
re-nuke himself every couple turns.
Because he's
That's-
just scrapping others.
That's insane.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What? Oh wow. Yeah, he's in the synergy benefits offered list.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow,
Right there.
My
Yep.
mind. You just blew my mind. Roguescape, you just blew my mind.
No, it says if both the guard and the Zedian infantry and adjacent Uko Shoborg
I know
hero
it's so tight. The rule is tight, but
receive wounds simultaneously with the doors open.
This is us nerding out, over these things already.
we're yeah.
I've
doesn't-
never heard this
right?
before, but I just realized that it doesn't say
Yeah.
opponent.
It
Yeah,
depends.
So
from a special
it
power. That
should.
is not an attack. You may destroy a guard. And, yep.
Wow. What?
Now, this is a specific situation that you got to set yourself up for.
Oh yeah.
But
You do have to set it up. You got to
Mhm.
you got to roll the guy out, make sure he explodes, make sure you can see it on the explosion, and have a Zetian guard already having like so there. It's not as easy as it sounds,
right.
but if you pull it off, oh my goodness,
It is
what
possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. The idea of it
It is
existing,
theoretically
blowing my mind
possible,
blown.
and that's
Wow.
magnificent. Thank you for that,
Wow.
Josiah.
Yeah, Rogue,
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
got a
It's
amazing point out there.
and yeah, I mean the bonding is another. It's like it gives like the Zedian guards and the or not just the Zedian guards, but it gives the Deathwalkers basically that bonding synergy that everybody wants them to have, basically. And so it's another equalizer. What we were talking before with Zombie Hulk and the zombies. This kind of gives that bonding Zedian infantry to the Deathwalkers and kind of makes you think about your Heroscape game just a little bit differently now, as far as I can tell.
Donlin cries when these guys are on the field.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple of cool synergies they have with classic Heroscape, certainly with all of the Solborg heroes, but Warden will buff their move to 5 because Warden does that to guards.
For sure.
And then 9,000, if you get a whole retinue of these guys surrounding 9,000, you can buff the Zedian infantry to 6 range. So 4 range doesn't look impressive on the card, but it can be buffed by someone they easily bond with. And I forget where I read this. It may have been like a designer note or just a comment someone observed, but it was a good point that circuitry replacement was very intentional in that idea that you can't use it to protect against a special attack or a normal attack. It has to be a special power, and I believe the reason for that was they wanted to kind of preserve that style of play where you're rolling tons of defense dice with the Deathwalker, but you're always anxious that one wound will get through, and so rather than prevent like normal attacks, wounds could get through. One wound can get through that 9 defense for Deathwalker 9,000 or 8,000 or 7,000. But special powers, it's a nice way to preserve the kind of feeling of like, oh, this might be the turn I lose him. This might be the turn I lose him. But special powers, it still gives you a way to kind of protect him. I don't know if that was
Those
or
auto
two-
wound
that's half or-
abilities are the death of a Deathwalker, So at
Yeah.
least you can still
Yeah.
roll your 9 defense and hold on, but you can't
Still,
defend
yeah.
against 16 or
Yeah.
higher. There's nothing you can do to stop that.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I mean, even like Death Commander Mark III, which is another custom.
Oh yeah,
Works with that.
He's good with these guys too.
Mhm.
that's the whole of VCs. When you got to take a step into it, you're like, oh wait, these work with these guys over here, and those guys work with these guys, and you have a
Very
lot of
analytical
weird
mind. It's just like,
interesting-
oh my goodness, here I go.
Really quick, I just double checked. It was Doc that made the score diers. So,
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Checks
Okay,
out.
Nice. Yep.
yep. Doc's the bug guy.
Yep.
Hey.
So the elephant in the room with these guys is they are very obviously Star Wars figures. I mean, that can't go without mentioning.
yeah, no, and that
I don't.
This is
I don't
something
know
I was
what you're
gonna.
talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't.
Well,
I don't see that.
Oh wait, no. Doc did the Vorage. Look at Doc did the Vorage. Okay. Oh yeah, Void Glide Striker, Tuck Harrigan, all of them. That's Doc's. Sky Knight did the bugs.
Okay.
There have been some. I have seen some community
he playtest the bugs. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
I have seen some community paints of these figures that give them kind of like black armor with red highlights to make them visually more aligned with the Zedian faction. Those are pretty cool. I mean, like the silhouette is obviously Star Wars, but at least they look like they're Zedians.
Is there any? It's one thing I wanted to mention or ask. Is there any like alternative sculpts for these, or has anybody tried? Like just making just like a different variation to make them not they're battle droids. I'm sorry. I grew up like watching Star Wars Episode 1 or in Episode 2. Well, not really grew up. I mean, it was a young adult.
If it
then,
helps. If it helps with the transitioning of the idea, don't forget that Star Wars Heroscape was supposed to be a thing. They had ideas, they had concepts, they were supposed to make it, and then Hasbro just never approved it. But obviously Hasbro owns them, and I don't know where they are at this point, but there was a point where they were designing Star Wars Heroscape, so there may have been a chance for battle droids at some point.
And isn't there an idea with VC, at least at the time a VC unit is released, that I mean, like obviously everything goes up in price over time, as people pick up the models and the amount of models on the market shrinks. But isn't the idea that when you design a VC unit, you try to pick a sculpt that is readily available on the market at that time at a low cost? You try to say like, oh, here's like a $3 figure you can get, and there's tons of bids for him on eBay. This should be easy for the community to pick up. Let's turn this into a custom. I had read that somewhere.
Yeah.
When these guys released, these guys were like 50 cents a unit, so they were pretty affordable.
That's another reason. Like, okay, they look like Star Wars, but they're cheap. Fine.
Yeah.
That's why even at the time, Confrontation was the big game that we pulled units from.
Now it's like
now it's hard to find them. We bought them out of existence.
Right.
We literally did. Like, we're the ones that took it all out of the market.
Too funny.
Crazy.
Any lore on these guys? I don't.
It's another SOV unit, so they didn't write anything.
No, not really. Okay. No worries then. And Justin says, "Rest in peace, Star Wars Heroscape, gone too soon."
I know. Rest in
peace. Oh, I don't want to think about it. It makes me sad.
Well. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. You never know. But yeah, I think this is another like unit that. Wait, what was the? Did I already say what the? Yeah.
Just bear in mind,
B+,
Disney owns Star Wars now, so I don't really know how that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how they are with trademarks. Like, I don't know how. I'm pretty sure Disney's really serious about that stuff too. So,
but
alas again.
I mean, B+ power ranking, it really does like help. I think competitively, like having these with your Deathwalkers, I think it totally changes like a person's perspective on Deathwalkers. As long as you place them right, I think this is definitely more for a player. You got to know what you're doing. Enter these in the field. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing, then you have to figure that out. So definitely for more your skilled player, but it seems like a lot of fun
synergies. They're really fun. I like these units because I love the big robots. They're so cool, but they're not. They just need a little bit of oomph, and these guys do give it to them. I just have to pretend that I don't recognize them as Star Wars, or just repaint them black and red, which they do look really nice when you do that. Like you can see the Zedian inspiration when you do that, which I recommend anyone doing that. And yeah, their ranged bonding is a really rare thing. So even though they only have attacks at 2, that gets rid of all those little guys that will roll that 1 dice that kills your Deathwalker. Your Deathwalker is more likely to survive 1 attack at 6 compared to 4 attacks at 2. That's just statistically because you just have more chance of whiffing. It's really the only thing you're looking out for, type of deal. So they just clean out all those little filler units, and they serve their purpose pretty well.
And I mean, they're pretty simple if you'd want to 3D print them. They're fairly simple to 3D print.
Right.
So
right.
yeah. So that helps too. What's
the
the cost of these like original Star Wars units now? You said though like they were 50 cents a pop. Now what's the price?
Now you can buy. They usually sell them in bundles. You can buy like 10 for $15 to $25, depending where you find them on the aftermarket.
Still not terrible. Especially since our common squad, you want to get a bunch anyway. So the commons.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the ruling? If it's a squad of 3, get at least 4. If it's a squad of 4, get at least 3.
Yep, that's
so
at least minimum.
At least, yeah.
Minimum.
I wish I knew that when I was a kid. I wish I knew that when I was a kid.
No kidding.
Makes me so mad.
Well, we don't now. So when commons start popping out, then it's like, get him.
Where I was at the store and I saw the dwarves on sale for $4, and I said, I don't need that. I already have dwarves.
Oh, that sounds so. The pain.
Let me get the vampire pack. Because I don't have that.
Painful.
We bought. That's the worst part. Heroscape, well, at least in from my perspective, Heroscape landed when I was like as a collector's item for me. So I just bought one of everything because I was trying to collect it. I wasn't playing it. But then the first time I tried to field a common squad and just absolutely had no luck because I was like, why? Wait, I'm supposed to be able to move 9 of these. Wait, I'm supposed to have 9 of these. And then my brain just I was so mad. I should have learned that when it was on retail price.
Well, while we're all groaning over our butt hurts from the past, and I think I'm the worst of them all. I didn't actually purchase Heroscape until after it was discontinued, so that's me.
Oh man, poor soul.
Yeah.
Poor soul.
But when it comes to Zedian Infantry, again, for a more skilled player, but if you really want to get into the game, if you really want to find another way to have those Deathwalkers destroy in the field, might be something worth considering their. I mean, it's a fairly cheap figure, no matter if it's aftermarket or 3D print it yourself. Even if 3D print doesn't look good, they're there, and just get the card, and boom, you're ready to go with another army to learn from Heroscape. So that's looking at Zedian Infantry for.
If I may add an anecdote to this,
okay,
because I played Zedians at ScapeCon East. Mm-hmm. And won 4 games with them.
Wow.
There you go.
So I had 4 times Zedians. I had Q9 and Warden 816. So it was a wild ride.
Yeah.
Oh, they bonded the Warden too.
Yeah,
they do bond the
Warden.
Yeah, Warden.
I've only played against
the Warden's
them.
Scary if you play him well.
I like Warden a lot. Yeah,
He's so good.
His Eviscerax came in so clutch in so many of my games. I wound up setting him out first, and it wasn't only until this morning when I tried playing the army again in a different format when Heracles, another VC unit, came in and destroyed 9K in one shot.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
that's what he's there for.
Yep.
But like I said, between the 4 games I played, I kept him in the back. I used him very effectively, and he had no one ever touched him.
Nice.
So I was able to play those Zedians really well, make sure they held the line, and pushed with Warden, and was able to get a bunch of Viscerax attacks on people.
I think personally, I'm gonna get some of these guys. I think I could do. Yep, I think I do. All right. Well, I'll let that be.
We just sold them to ourselves.
I'll let that be the last word. Taking a look at Zedian Infantry for your Heroscape collection. All right, and before I move on to the last one here, I'm just going to catch up with chat here. Justin's saying, I'm hoping Power Rangers Heroscape becomes a thing. Hey, what about My Little Pony? Come on, Austin. Austin needs My Little Pony. Come on. I'm hoping Power Rangers Heroscape becomes a thing. Renegade is already heavily using the license. Would be fun to see them alongside Marvel units. It would be fun to have a Power Ranger theme Heroscape. Yeah, there's no doubt.
I will only allow in my brain for Power Rangers to exist only if we can get Zoids.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
So that would be great.
I think you kind of need that. Yeah. I
Right.
no complaints here. Justin says also, if time machines ever get invented, I'd use it to go and grab Heroscape during its initial print run. Actually, I was pondering this the other night, thinking to myself, if I could go back, all of a sudden I just fall asleep and wake up like 20 or 30 years, in the past, but you retain everything that First of all, I think I would freak out because then I'd be like, 10 or 20 years old, and be like, what happened? And then you end up doubting yourself.
Mind
Yeah, then you end up doubting yourself or causing some type of paradox in your own brain. But setting that aside, yeah, definitely getting Heroscape stuff or like buying stock for like Amazon or something,
Right? Or for Google before it became big.
or YouTube, something like that,
Might
Might totally disrupt the timeline.
Anything at all. I'm so mad.
But anyway, I digress. Thank you guys for that comment. All right,
No, that's
now
fun.
moving on. Who wants to read this
this
next one? I'll leave it up to.
Let me dive into him.
Okay.
I love me a good
we
argument.
love Haddock.
Okay,
We love
let's
Haddock.
dive into Haddock because I
Please
actually
stand
know
Haddock.
nothing really about this. So go ahead, Josiah, take it away.
All right, we have Haddock or Haddock. He's an elf wizard, a valiant. He has the Aegis of the Crimson Sigil. When Haddock, there's so many weird words to pronounce. When Haddock or any elf wizard you control adjacent to Haddock rolls defense dice, add 1 automatic shield to whatever is rolled for each revealed order marker on Haddock's army card. Then we have Elven Supremacy. Anytime you roll the 20-sided die for an elf army card, you may add 1 to your die roll. He has pretty bulky life with low defense. He's actually a wizard that knows how to use spells without a special attack. So he has a range of 7, attack of 3, and that measly elven defense of 2. 100 points,
real
not
quick,
bad.
For the context, the name is that's Colby. That's Dosh. That's Dosh.
Yeah.
Colby Dosh. So his last name rearranged.
Okay.
That's a homage to Colby Dosh.
And who's Kobe Dash?
Truth. Screaming.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no
Truth.
kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Guy that runs Heroscapers.com. Flat Hat Games CEO.
Anytime
That
I
dude.
see the name, I always think it's someone cutting off Ryu in Street Fighter doing this Hadouken. Just say Hadouken! Just
No, it's
insult.
That's interesting.
funny.
That's
That's Dosh. That's the name Dosh rearranged.
That's awesome.
Now, can I ask a question? Because elf, other, it doesn't really
Right.
stand out to me as something like very interesting. Because it's just another addition to an elf army that I'm currently not using anyway because it's other elf army. So
Well, the Elf Army was never completed. Which
Right.
is the big part. The big reason when C3V got started, their initial plan was to continue with the work that the devs wanted to do and weren't able to do. And everybody knew that the Elf Army was incomplete. Like we're missing half of the Order of the Crimson Sigil in the lore. So we're like, yeah, where are the rest of them? That kind of stuff. And then it's just Craig himself mentions twice in his Q&A thread. He was just like, yeah, no, we were supposed to work on the Elf Army, we just didn't get there. And it was just like, oh. So
Yeah.
Hadouken is an answer or an attempt to answer what the Elf Army was missing. So when you play all the wizards together and you got the Warriors of Asher out there and you got the Aubrian Archers, it probably shines a lot better. But
It's
definitely not.
I mean, the elves' biggest weakness is their measly defense. Having
Yep.
automatic shields at the risk of taking multiple turns is a very valuable thing. He's the only way you can make an elf army somewhat competitive, as he has a ranged attack, and elf army is so built around
he's
Emerald
ranged.
summoning. So that one extra roll to Emerald summoning is so integral to that build.
That's a good point. And the other thing I like about this is that you can draft him. It's a bit more experimental. I don't know if I'd bring it to tournament, but I've wanted to try it for forever. You can draft him and Venok Warlord and add 2 to your frenzy roll for your
Mhm.
Aubrians.
Oh,
You make a 14 or higher frenzy on the Aubrians. That's kind of scary. I've never tried it. Just a theory, but it sounds like a lot of fun. And the other thing I like about
Frenzy
him
can
is,
mess people up.
oh
If you
yeah,
get good
oh,
rolls.
it's no joke. And
It messed me up this weekend.
And it's got to be
Oh.
plus ranking actually for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the other thing I like about him, another thing I haven't tried yet, but I can imagine it's useful. Him with Sonlen. So Sonlen's Dragon Heal and Dragon Swoop are now 14 and higher, which strikes me as pretty darn good.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's a good support basically, and
He
a
fills a lot
support
of
with
holes in, yeah.
range, a support with range too.
You could also just draft him as your endgame unit. If it's just him, he doesn't need the other elves. And if you take 3 turns, by the 3rd turn, he has 3 automatic shields he gets to add to his defense. So he can really, an endgame unit, 3 automatic shields with 2 defense is almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, that's okay. That's interesting.
Ooh, that's cool.
Now we do have a bit of lore. Now, Jeremy, because this Justin was mentioning something. The 9th elf wizard is this considered like custom-wise one of the 9?
Yeah. So another thing C3V wanted to do when they hired all the fiction writers to help out with everything was like to basically continue the classic storyline as we knew it, basically picking up right after that passage. So journal entry 45 is the last thing we got, right? Aquila announcing her alliance and being like, we're gonna fight tomorrow, and that's it. Like that's all we ever got. C3V immediately picks up after that. So everything you see here is based on classic stuff, and we knew about the fight between Kosumet and the Order of the Crimson Sigil. They have that whole story played out between, so it's like Intelic Wind's bio. All the wizards have a mention except Jordan. That entire session, or that entire war that they had with the wolves, that's what this character is directly associated with, is that war in those bios. And there's a lot of them, so we can't go over all of them, but there's like 4 or 5 bios that all tie together.
Right.
There's like a joint story. Yeah, it's like this joint story that got told between all these multiple bios in the last wave.
The elves have the most complete lore, I think, out of any of the units. Like we have very clear understanding of what's going on, where things are at. Compare that to like Grut lore. We're like, we don't know
Oh man. And now here's the funny thing. I'll say this: now that I work with that stuff, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling. I'm like, okay, cool. Phelan's nice, thick. We got some good content. And then I open up the Grut stuff, and I'm like, Craig, what is this?
Who are the orcs fighting?
Literally, I'm just like, Craig, I need answers, man. Like, I have no clue what to go with this. Like, but like Phelan, nice, sweet. It's so.
Phelan has like, separate ages, like 3rd age, 9th age,
like, right? I'm like, man, I wish they did that with all the planets. It would make my job so much easier. But hey, we do what we got to do.
Well, Jeremy, do you want to read the because there's a bit of lore for this character?
Yeah,
Would you like to read it? Yeah, go ahead.
I can go ahead and read his bio. I gotta do it. I gotta. Voice is strained and desperate. I have casting directions here. Go, Haddock. This task falls to you now. Olganish's voice was strained and desperate. He rarely barked orders at any of his kin, but as the wounded elf surveyed the moonlit battlefield, it was becoming clear that even the combined strength of the Order of the Crimson Sigil would not withstand the fury of this onslaught. No, brother. I'll stand and fight with you to the end. We'll not let these Haddouk's words were cut short as the elven leader spoke directly into his mind. The words echoed coldly through his head as the distractions of the battle faded to nothing. Your bravery is noted, brother, but your resolve will serve us better if you use it to escape. The princess is lost, and Theric is along with her. Soon the stone will be lost to us as well. You must get word back to the Council of Ashra. 3 days later, Haddouk, one of his eyes and half of his face destroyed with the claws of the Anubians, stumbled into the village of Ashra. He reported the fate of the order to Berith in a choked voice, refusing to allow the village healers to tend to his wound. A month passed. The last of the 9, his face now hidden deep in the hood of his cloak, was present the walls of Castle Eisenwein as the warriors of Ashra, taking advantage of the conflict between Cyprian and Nicholas, staged a valiant raid to end the reign of vampiric terror. It was there that, beset on all sides by Badru, thralls, and zombies, he came close to death for the second time and woke to find himself in Valhalla. Now in the service of Ullr, reunited with the Order of the Crimson Sigil, he employs his powerful defensive magic in the fight to defend the Wellsprings. He keeps to the scars he gained in Siphaland and keeps his face deep in his cowl. And when others celebrate their victories over the forces of Utgard and Krill, Haduk keeps his silence, for he fights not for glory, only for atonement.
See, this guy's cool. I like this guy.
That's
and
pretty
that
interesting.
bio, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say was written by Pumpkin King. I'll have to check. The other one of the other main fiction writers. Pumpkin King did a lot of good in the early bios.
That explains a lot. It ties in other characters, you know, but especially like about Phelan. We, you know, I know I've mentioned in the past that we need like a big leather-bound lore book, you know, on Heroscape. But you know what we need? Actually, we need like a Valhalla lore book, then a Phelan lore book, then like lore book from these different planets too, like in the past, you know, like maybe like a main Heroscape, you know, lore book, but then all these other branches too, as well. It's just more books, more money, you know, to spend. So
I can't wait for the Earth history lore book.
It's just a link. It's just like so the announcement
Wikipedia.
like the Earth lore book is now out, and it's just a link to the Wikipedia. That's your lore book.
I think it would be interesting. Now, maybe one of you guys can correct me, but is Earth the only one with a past, present, and future?
No, so
Like,
they do
Mar.
allude to timelines.
Okay.
The thing is, so I actually this is one of the fun things that I've discovered working with the story now. It's interesting that it's easy for us as humans to recognize our own past, present, future because we live in it, right? But when we start thinking about the past, present, and future for a concept that's not human, it's like, here's a couple things, and yeah. But it's like we don't do our human timeline for anything else, which I've noticed. And I'm like, but like if you read into the lore, you get into the deep of it, right? Alpha Prime, the war between the Solborg and the Meridians took 3,000 years. That was already established, right? And then they have a civil war between the Omicrons and the Zedians and all that stuff. So that's a different time period. And then you know that at some point the Solborg got the ability to star travel because now we have Isadora, which is a completely different planet that they're also coming from. So that's a different time period, right? But they don't state that. They don't say new time period or they don't say in the future. They just kind of mention it in the bio, and then you kind of like you have to piece it all together yourself.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So yeah, another example real quick, the Morrow. The Morrow that came out in Wave 9 actually come from Mars' future. And that's mentioned in the forum. Both Truth, both Truth and Sky Knight both mention that Tolbakra and the Dividers are from Mars' future. So they do have time periods.
That does kind of make sense because I always thought their design just felt a little off in comparison to some of the other Morrow.
Yep.
Not as a bad, right? Not as a bad thing, but just sort of like, to be sure, I never really engaged too much with the Heroscape lore. Like the few times I engaged with it, I was always impressed by how well written it was. But it just wasn't my anchor to the game. But
totally understandable.
What is it? Tolbakra and the Dividers. I always just took them as like, oh well, that's just the design of the time that this wave was released. Like that's just where the designers of the game were thinking. But when you look at Tolbakra, he appears to have, because the Mara are all about like biomechanics and engineering themselves. Tolbakra appears to have like jet engines built into his back. If you look at his model, and I always thought like, okay, that's a little odd. And now you saying this, like, I'm gonna be reading these lore books. You've sent me on a journey.
They got some
so
really good
detail. We need them.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Hey, I work for the lore officially. Of course, I'm going to talk about it constantly. That's set. That's my job now, right?
Well, comes from a time when D20 rolls aren't necessary. This is what Mars future holds.
You just get to do it.
Yeah, for free.
You
No
don't roll
probability.
for water clone. You just do it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have an overlord instead of a hybrid, right?
We have found a way to bioengineer out of our DNA the D20.
Yo, we need more
Literally.
overlords.
Let's go.
I'm happy with my queen. And I'll just tell you that.
I know.
I'm
See,
happy
like
with my queen.
Tails is score dire specific now. Like every Tails will only support Maledrix.
Absolutely. But that's very interesting. This particular unit. I think y'all convinced me. I think eventually got to get it. And actually, I think the one thing is the range. The range kind of. And the buffs.
7 range attack 3 on height is no joke.
Yeah, it reminds me actually
is
kind of a
nice.
Solaris a little bit.
Right.
And that's attack of 3. Yeah, that's yeah. If anything, it would be a potentially good closer. So yeah, I have to put this one on the list for sure. And so go ahead to wrap up.
Real quick shout out to the pack name. So you know how they name the different collection, different packs. This one comes from the pack Heroes of Vassal's Vigil. Shout out to that because that's in reference to Tom Vassal. I'm pretty sure the Dice Tower dude.
Nice.
So they both Hadouken. So Hadouken is a reference to Colby Dosh, and then the pack is a reference to Tom Vassal. So
cool.
Respect.
That's pretty cool.
Respect.
Yep.
Well, and we'll definitely and this is just the first from that pack, but those other units we'll have to get to at a future date. But for this one, and I even didn't look at the price for the miniature of this.
It's pretty cheap. It's about $6-7 you can find.
Okay, Snakes
Pretty
and Cultists. So
average.
this is okay. So you just got to get the miniature, then the card, and yeah, there's information for that below. So this is definitely one. Then you probably want to consider getting the most useful elf being Valhalla Custom one in your army. Definitely check it out and give it some strong consideration for your Heroscape collection. Okay, now give me guys 1 second because before we close down for the night, I do have some content creator shoutouts that we got to talk about. We got some people to talk about. I just say, okay, Justin's saying, I never knew the Wave 9 Maro came from Mars Future. I was never able to pick up dividers, but Tobak Ra is a lot of fun. Yeah, Tobak Ra is a lot of fun to animate. My goodness, I just love the fact you can teleport just everywhere. That's my favorite bit of animating is animating that miniature. Okay.
Yeah, no, I have just to mention, I do have those threads saved if anyone wants it. Just DM me or I'll pop it into Discord where Truth and Skyknight say that the dividers come from the future.
Would love to read
but
it.
That's still on the forums. Yeah. So I
Sure.
can go ahead and grab those for you if you want to read that.
Tales of Valhalla
Absolutely.
Discord. Yeah, just pop it in there for sure.
Gotcha. Let me go ahead and check that.
Okay,
Save.
so before we wrap up tonight, I do want to give some YouTuber content creator shout outs. I have a list because they've been building up lately, and we've had just a few people out there just starting to make content. So we just got to give them some recognition, give them some love, give them some subscriptions, some support. Would appreciate if any of y'all can. First one up is Rico Suave. I think if I'm saying that right. And this particular individual made something called Age of Annihilation, a Heroscape power metal song, and it's the song that if you're watching the replay on this stream, it's the music that I play as the intro bumper music because Rico Suave has graciously allowed any of us content creators to use this particular sub music. But Rico basically wrote the lyrics. Threw the lyrics in an AI generator, music generator, and voila, this beautiful piece of music came out. Very nice lyrics. Definitely check it out. And there is a link in the description below for that, and there always will be now since I'm going to be using that music in the future. But I only got 21 subscribers. Give him a subscribe. Definitely check out his music and encourage him to make more. We need more Heroscape music for sure.
It is the one thing that we lack in this community is musical talent.
Yeah.
Whether
need
AI
people
or
to
not,
come in.
you know.
Yeah,
doesn't
AI
matter.
or
I'm
not,
looking
like if
around.
you have legit talents, please start making music for
Yep.
Heroscape for like all the factions and generals.
Mhm.
Like, what would Vidar
yeah.
music sound like? What would Ukar's music sound like? Well, I could tell you. I would assume Ukar music just sounds like Doom BFG division. But other than that, yeah, I think it's so important. I want to be able to drive down to my events and go check out tournaments and listen to Heroscape music. So please put it on SoundCloud if you can. Put it on Spotify.
Yeah.
You know, please make someone. Can we start a playlist? You know, even if it's inspiration music. Let's start that.
I listen. I mean, I listen to this particular one like nearly every day now because it pumps me up. It's so good, especially when it starts talking about the sergeant and the bear appearing. I'm just like, just okay. I'm ready
The
to
lyrics
go.
are very well written for that song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a bop.
It is. It definitely is. Definitely give them more subscriptions. We need to show this person more support for sure. All right, moving on to now. Entering into the fray, we have another content creator who is doing some unboxing and reviews. Kind of like stuff that Joe and some other content creators do. This is Heroes and Hexes. Again, low subscribership, and I would say that this individual content creator has his opinions on some of it. It's I would say it's a balanced opinion and thoughts. Is not exactly like glowing over everything, but he likes it. He loves it. He loves what he sees, but he's not afraid to give critiques how he sees it. So I like the perspective. I enjoy the perspective, and I personally think we need to give him a lot more support. So definitely give some subscriptions to Heroes and Hexes, give him some views, and help grow his channel out there. Because I think his last video was like 3 weeks ago. We need to see more unboxings from him. So give him some support. And then
it's a stress test too, which are actually really nice. For the
terrain units. Yeah, it does that a bit.
The plastic deformation is a really interesting one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it is. So needs more views, needs more subscribers. So give it to him, guys. And then this one I found very interesting. This YouTube channel, Frog of War Gaming, and
that's great.
Yeah, the Frog and I think he has someone else. They go into detail, like I said, they give way one tier list and review. A lot of what some of us do, where they go in depth about their thoughts, and they give their particular insights into if they think this is a good unit classification. Just I think you said something similar, Roguescaper, earlier, to where you just, like, when it comes to Will's videos, Doggin's videos, that you can just press play while you're working and just listen to these guys talk about Heroscape, and same for Doggin, same for these guys. I really enjoy listening to what their thoughts are on these. So definitely, I mean, they have a little bit of subscribers, but we can push them to like 250, 300. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Frog has does a lot of painting content on their channel.
Yeah, it does,
and painting contests on their Discord. You're looking at Frog's current color Clash King for this month. They have a painting contest every month.
Right.
So
right.
I'm rating victorious.
Right, and Frog does have a Discord, and sometimes they actually have their chat open. I think it's every Tuesdays they have their chat open and talk with people. As I was able to hop on to one of those chats a couple of weeks ago and talk with them, so that was fun. hop on. I was able to hop on. Does that show my age, or what do we talk about? What am I missing something?
It's a frog, Ryan.
Oh yeah, I totally missed that. Oh my goodness. I hopped on. Yep.
Ryan didn't even realize. He didn't even realize his own joke.
Guys, I am.
Dang.
Everything's lost on me nowadays. Yeah,
Made an unofficial. Was it? You didn't mean to make a pun, but you did.
But I did. I'm taking a drink.
I'm
taking a drink.
Incredible.
Anyway, I love these guys. So yeah, definitely give them a subscription and give them a listen. Bump up, just bump up their watch time for sure.
Pump it, Jam. Pump it.
My goal is to have everyone that makes Heroscape content get up to 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
that's my personal.
Let's
personal
do
mission.
How are we doing that?
One subscriber at a time.
It's called.
What?
It's
Do
called.
you doubt the power of the well springs, Joe?
Yes, so social media synergy. You know,
I
we all
drank
got to
from them in a while.
bond. We all got to bond together, and together we will
I only had a
rise.
shot of Fireball on
I
the
mean-
weekend.
Shut up.
I mean, it's my personal goal that everybody
That's a
like
poisoned wellspring, Joe. That's a
any
poisoned-
other. It's my personal goal that any other content creator just surpasses, like me. Surpasses me or Sir Heroscape. That's my goal. I want you all to be like 10 times better than what we are. And some of you are almost getting there too.
My favorite statement that everyone is encapsulating. It's the a rising tide raises all ships.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it was.
That's
I
the
want
way
to say
to
that's
look
a
at it.
Roosevelt quote. I think it's a Roosevelt quote. Don't quote me on that. But the idea is like he used to say, if one person succeeds, that's awesome. But when one person succeeds, they can bring people with them. And so, yeah, the rising tide raises all ships. So everybody can come with us together. Like it's everyone's. Everyone comes to the table. The table has plenty of seats. Everyone should literally, even if you're listening to this podcast right now and you got any sort of inspiration to make a video or make a custom or do it, just do it.
It's happened.
There's a spot.
And then a few months later, you're on here talking with us.
Literally,
exactly what keeps happening. Yeah,
like all ships rise. All ships
amazing.
rise. That's what we want to do.
And I think too, if going with that all ships rising, it makes it more attractive for the company producing Heroscape because it's like, oh, this game has a following. Oh, all these channels are popping up. Oh, this thing is
Pop it
hot.
up like daisies.
Great. Yeah. So
it was John F. Kennedy. It's a Kennedy quote. Yeah.
Those are the same people, essentially.
Hey,
Right. They're It's a president.
It's a rising tide, and then next story arc, you get to actually play the rising tide.
Yeah, you get to play the rising tide. Let's go.
I want my bugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Next content creator, YouTuber, Board Heroes, and he's got an Etsy, and I know we've probably discussed like some of his stuff that he has on Etsy before. He's a craftsman. He does a good job in making things, but he also has a YouTube channel called Board Heroes, and he's got a lot of very interesting videos as well. Let me just do the latest one. And he also has he's doing something like his most recent video, basically like asking his community, his audience to help him come up with army selections or for army builds for community tournaments and such. So that's cool. And he just did a giveaway. I'm sorry I wasn't able to announce that sooner, but he does giveaways, and I call him a very skilled craftsman. He also does painting. So another painter entering into the fray.
Board Hero is great. I love seeing more painting channels come up because it's always great to have a variety of options. He even does a lot of speed paint. So if you're looking to get your figures done really fast and really efficiently, I honestly don't do a lot of that on my channel. I do more the hard way to get things done. So definitely check out his video if you want to just get your figures painted and have them look really nice. Definitely recommend Board Hero.
So and I like actually this one. I actually got to rewatch this a few times. How to fix miniature painting mistakes, because that's a lot of us beginners. That's something that a lot of us need, and so I really like that video a lot.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely give him some sub love, and I think some of you already are. I think it went from 230 to 240. So thank you guys. Yeah, go ahead and give him a watch,
Nice.
and purchase from his Etsy store. He's got a lot of very cool stuff. Excuse me. All right. Losing my voice, but we got to get through more guys here.
It's hard to keep up.
My goodness.
A lot of creators.
And
Gigan.
I gotta watch through all
Gigan.
these guys or some other content, so I kind of know what I'm talking about for them as well. But here's another one, Gigan. Gigan, only 69 subscribers. I really like another painter entering into the fray. Gigan. And he is currently doing a giveaway. So if you want to subscribe to his channel, go to this November mini giveaway. Leave a comment. I already have. I basically told him like, hey, I'm mentioning you tonight, and see if we can get more people subscribe to your channel. And again, I'm already doing a giveaway for this podcast tonight. And this particular individual is also doing a giveaway on his channel. Again, another painter. He's got some really good painting videos. You want to check it out? And apparently he's been painting for like 20 years. So
Gigan's very good. Definitely.
Oh, get out, really?
Yeah, I definitely recommend. I've been wanting to reach out to Gigan. They're just really good, really nice, simple tutorials that teach you what to do step by step. And yeah, has my rogue seal of approval right there. So definitely, if you're looking to dive into painting, check them out. They have a lot more painting videos than actually I have because I'm slow at the process. So Gigan's great.
Yeah, he's only at 69 subscribers. So we need to bump that up to 100, guys. 100 plus. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. I'm sorry, Will, you're saying something?
Oh, no, just commenting on how beautiful the Awashia looks. That's
Yeah.
a gnarly paint.
Yeah.
The purple and red look awesome.
Yeah, it really is cool.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. No, he seems like he's a very good artist for these. Yeah, he's got a whole selection of videos. So definitely check him out. Watch his videos and enter the contest. I think all you gotta do is just subscribe and leave a comment, and you'll be entered. So definitely do that. Check him out. All right, and then last but not least, and
wait, there's more.
But wait, there's one more. A stop motion animator enters into the fray. I've been wanting to say this for so long.
We didn't. What?
For years and years and years.
So it's 2 days ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
just started this YouTube channel, and he's already at like 1K subscribers. But there's a reason for that. He's got a following. He's been doing stop motion animation with Lego for a little while. So that's where he's coming from. And I've had an opportunity to actually kind of text chat with him a little bit. And Slug. I'll show you just I don't have this link description below, but this is his other channel, RR Slugger, to where he gives a lot of detail on Lego and does some really good stop motion animation. And I discovered that both our techniques for stop motion animation are very similar. Our approaches are very similar to how we do stop motion animation. So I'm gonna, even though I know that some of his videos are gonna be, I encourage him. It's like try and do more stop motion animation with the Heroscape stuff, because I'd really love to see that. I think he's kind of veering more towards like some scripted stuff, like some scripted tutorial videos on Heroscape. But for the entertainment value, I like to see what he does with just stop motion Heroscape, just pure. Small story.
I want to just comment a little bit on him because I've been following his RR Slugger channel for a while, because actually before I got into Heroscape, my original hobby is Lego. That's my other big hobby. And there appears to be, we were talking about this earlier, there appears to be a lot of overlap between people who grew up with Lego or Bionicle. A lot of them found their way into Heroscape as I did. And I was just casually following his stuff. He has some really thoughtful pieces on just the history of Lego. He explores some niche topics that I didn't really think deeply about in Lego, and he adds like he's just a really thoughtful guy. And if he's going to bring that same level of thoughtfulness from Lego to Heroscape, I am super excited at like any little essays or thought pieces he does about Heroscape. So yeah, this was a really pleasant surprise and just super surreal that he also plays Heroscape. It's just nuts.
Yeah, just the fact that now I have another kindred spirit in stop motion animation. I'm over the moon with this. So
That's awesome.
yeah, absolutely. So that is content creators. Again, all links in the description below for these guys. And here I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm done sharing. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and give our plugs and then wrap up this podcast for tonight. So Jeremy, go ahead, plug away.
All right. Well, my name is Jeremy, Croatoan Online. Also, founder of the Eslam Collate, just a general platform that covers all kinds of lore topics, narrative topics, so video game lore, Heroscape lore, tabletop lore, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's nice to be able to talk about C3V, even seeing it, because it's like I didn't really get to participate in its long years, right? Because I mean, we have to acknowledge that C3V is a large reason why the game continued as it is, right? We are able to have Heroscape now because so many people working with it, keeping it going, making these customs, doing these games, keeping this stuff alive long after Hasbro had already kind of just closed the doors, right? C3V is a big part of that. And it's nice seeing it because it's like I helped with the initial entries, right? And just for context, I wrote the bio for Van Nessing, the M43 Resistance Fighters, and Captain John Varen. That's my work. And the funny thing is, I wrote that when I was in high school, right? So like, long time ago. I don't swear by it now. Obviously, I feel like I do much better work now. And it's like this weird, like, full circle because writing for C3V and then it was able to do all this stuff and now writing for actual Heroscape. And it's like, man, like, it's nice to have these, like, moments in history to be able to review and enjoy with the community. And it's a big part of the community spirit. So it's really good to just kind of review this. Always highly recommend people to check out the custom work that these people do because it is very, very professional, very serious, very, very. I mean, the passion's just there. You can tell automatically. So good stuff overall. And yeah, if anybody ever has any lore questions whatsoever, my DMs are always open for that. Right? As I always say, the shelves are always open. And then yield my time.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. All right, Joe, go ahead.
Awesome, because I think I might just exit out as soon as I'm done because I'm about to pass out.
It's not like you had a tough weekend of Heroscape playing at all. No,
Right. That's the skate
con. I played 16 games, Ryan.
Yeah.
Technically 17 because of multiplayer madness, treasure trove, but yeah. It wasn't as big as EscapeCon Major in Indiana, but Saturday night we all went out to dinner and we had some drinks. So, and then today was very hard for a lot of us.
Don't drink and play Heroscape.
No. So we can exactly, because I'll tell you right now, I kind of wish I was still with them, not just to only play more games, but to watch these finals. Some of the best players out there. I'm so happy to see some other new faces in that top 12. Boy, good luck, guys. Honestly, good luck. It's oh, what a great group. But yeah, so that was a fantastic week, and I'm tired. But anyway, yeah, this week, I'm hoping to get some work done. You'll see an unboxing video come out as soon as it's done for Revna's Rebuke, and then I'll be working on the final cut for the EscapeCon 4 Championship, and because I have my footage, I had asked Sir Heroscape if I could use some of his footage so I can do my classic battle video editing style for the championship game. It's a good one for the ages, so lots to study from, especially since it's a draft event. So learning a lot about that, especially rewatching it over and over again. You're learning from some of the two best players in Heroscapers for the year. We had Night of Light and Vegetarian 18, so very, very good match. I can't wait I mean, you could technically already watch that or find the result out. But anyway, if you want to wait for my video, you're more than welcome to.
Be entertained, with the editing that Joe has.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to that. Like I said, the stack, I'm starting to melt it. Obviously you could tell it's a brand new background, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to comment on that.
Somebody has a new abode.
Yeah, I'm in a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
Although
like that's
I will miss background bike. It was a member of the panel.
that's currently in our garage. The bike's in the garage. But yeah, no, there'll be some other cooler stuff. I have no idea. If anyone ever has any suggestions of what should I put back there, let me know. So hopefully I'll get some storage things or do something, because I need my space too to record some cool videos and play VR. Nice. And right now I just got to put all my Heroscape boxes. But yeah, no, brand new house, super happy. I'm a happy man. And yeah, getting married in May. Cool. Love this adult life.
Congrats, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So looking forward to that. So anyway, I'm going to bed. Good night, guys.
All right. Later, Joe. You take
Good
care of
night,
yourself.
brother.
I'm at that point where I'm just laughing at everything.
Joe might be actually crazy at this point.
Totally not my shackle.
Definitely not crazy, all right? Definitely not crazy. Anyway, good night, guys.
Later, man.
Peace.
Okay. And Josiah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what did we learn today? VC is awesome. Tons of channels popping up. I'm so excited to see it. I'm trying to keep track. It's honestly getting hard to do so. But yeah, it's great just seeing everyone again and talking Scape. I wish I could do it every day, but I'm happy to do it today. And just on my end, just check out my YouTube channel if you want some painting tutorials. And I've started to venture into other Scape discussions. Inspired by Dog and Days, I decided to try some longer format combat, longer form
Let's go.
content. And so I was doing I pitch ideal units I'd love to see, and we just hit 600 subscribers, so that's a really fun benchmark to
Catching up to me. Wow.
at.
Fast.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fast.
And yeah, I'm coming for you, Tails. That's my
Surpass me. I want you to surpass me. Come on.
yeah, but yeah, it's a great panel, great people, great game. What else do I have to say?
All right. Thank you, sir. Will, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I'm Will in real life, and in the Heroscape community, I'm known as Dog and Days. I run a Heroscape channel. I like getting into the nitty-gritty of the mechanics of units. I like writing big, overly long-winded thought pieces on the units, but it helps me articulate how I feel about the units. I like the competitive aspect of the game, and I like getting all nerdy and analyzing all those mechanics. So check it out if you like background noise while you're painting or commuting. That's what I try to provide. And just I want to echo what everyone else is saying. This really is a great community. I've been playing Heroscape since it came out, but only casually with friends up until the last maybe 3 years or so. And in the last 2 years, I got into the competitive scene. I started actually finally engaging with the community and meeting people like this. And I don't think I've had a single bad experience. Like, it really has been a positive influence in my life. And if you're able to find some Heroscapers around you, I'm pretty sure they're going to be wonderful people. There's something about this game that attracts the nicest, most wholesome, welcoming people, and you will not regret it. So yeah, you guys are great.
Sure, thank you, Will. All right, and I am Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla. And what do I say? Well, this Wednesday, I should be wrapping up on the skirmishes that I was doing a couple weeks ago, where I had this particular zombie Hulk and regular zombies up against a few armies that I had assembled. Still gotta finish that. A lot of interesting things happened the last couple of weeks, but hopefully we'll finish that this Wednesday. This Tuesday, just so y'all know, this won't be streamed or video taken, but on the Tales of Valhalla Discord, since we have a lot of people on the Tales of Valhalla Discord, it amazes me actually how many people we have there. And we're going to be doing just a community talk where I will hop in the what I say, the live chat that that most of the regular people can see, and anybody wants to hop on and we just talk about Heroscape or just nerdy things or whatever for like an hour or two. I will be available 9:30 p.m. Eastern time this Tuesday if you want to do that. And then what else? Again, there is a contest for this particular live stream video on YouTube as well. If you want to leave a comment on Spotify, and again, here let me show the prizes again. Here, new in the box, AOA Sergeant Drake Alexander, as well as a Sergeant Drake Alexander Rise of the Valkyrie card signed by Craig Van Ness. I mentioned him earlier, Craig Van Ness himself. And those prizes we'll do the giveaway drawing probably December 15th, which will be the night we do meme review. I think I'm going to be targeting that meme review, and it's also going to be my birthday on that particular day as well. I'm going to be 42, which we all know is the answer to the life, universe, and everything. So that should be a fun night. I'm planning to try and just invite everybody to that to show up at least one way or another, because it'll probably be a long night, because I have about like a good 150 memes from this year. Heroscape memes.
I made some good ones this year, I'm ready.
I've tried to download as much as possible and keep track as much as possible.
They're good. This community has meme game.
Well, it should be a fun night. And again, coming up this February as well, 10 years for the Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel. Is going to be a 10-year anniversary, and we will have a streaming Sunday. Actually, the day before, it's like February 10th is the day, but that's a Monday, so we'll probably do something that Sunday. Not sure yet, but we'll probably give something away then as well. We'll see. But I just thank everybody, because knock my socks off that now that this channel has entered into the monetization realm. That's all for you guys. And again, just if you feel so inclined, I mean, the most important thing you do is just keep on watching and subscribe. I mean, that's bare minimum. The best. That's one of the best things you can do. But if you feel so inclined to want to become more part of this community, if you want to see some backstages of some of these podcasts and the fun we have behind the pain wall, the pain wall. I need to sleep too. But check out the membership part, or I look forward to having super chat sometime down the line. That would be fun too. But we'll see. We'll take it one step at a time. But it's going to be an opportunity for me to eventually want to do ToV podcasts way more often when I'm able to afford to, and to do stop motion animations way more often once I start building that community support. So the more that's given, the more they're going to be able to do. So I mean, we'll see. And at bare minimum, I'm still going to be doing stuff. Just I'll be motivated more for whatever we get. So because I already have a little bit of Patreon support, so I do appreciate all those Patreon supporters out there as well. But with that, I thank everybody for watching. Again, see you this Wednesday. And thank you guys for showing up. Joe Crazy again for lull yourself to sleep. Go to sleep, young mind shackled fellow, and we'll see you guys next time. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you next time. Later now. Bye. And yeah, Justin, I'll see you Tuesday as well. Yep, plan to join. Great, awesome. All right, later now. Bye. Okay, shout out to you, Ashley Khan, who just left a last chat there. I just want to give you a shout. Love a channel. Keep up the great video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.